Chapter 6 of Baby Moll by Lee Farris. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Chapter 6. On the terrace I looked down the drive. Through the trees I saw a thin border of light in one window of the small gabled gatehouse. The thought of sleep wasn't right for me yet, and the thought of Elaine was a gathering misery deep in my stomach, so I walked down the drive and knocked at the door. "Who is it?" Rudy said. I told him. He came and opened the door timidly. He wore nothing but the old hat and a pair of underwear shorts pulled high over his sagging, stuck-out belly. In one hand he held an Italian automatic. His pinkish skin glistened wetly. It was hot in the one-room house. The windows were open, but Rudy had drawn the blinds. A slow-turning fan kept the air from becoming stifling. On a hot plate, coffee bubbled in the glass percolator. He offered me a chair and sat down in another, stuck the automatic into a shoulder holster hanging by the strap from the back of the chair. "Where's the other fellow?" I asked Rudy.
"Revis, up at the house. One of us always sleeps in the room next to Macy's."
"Feel any better?" He shook his head.
"I cleaned up. I won't be able to move tomorrow."
"Thought you'd be in bed by this time." He gave me a bleary look.
"I don't sleep much these days."
"That gate outside doesn't look very sturdy to me. Fence wire won't hold back anybody who wants in bad enough." He chuckled and got to his feet.
"Want to see something?"
There was a small control panel with 3 knife switches beside the door. Rudy pried one up. He opened the door. Outside, tiny spurts of blue flame along the wires accompanied the crisp sounds of frying insects. Rudy shut the heavy door and locked it, turned off the electricity.
"Enough juice to kill a cow," he said. "There's a fence operating on another circuit slung halfway around this island."
"Why no sleep, Rudy? You waiting for somebody to come along?" I was sorry for the cruelty in my voice.
"Get off it, will you?" he said.
His tone was defeated.
"You saw what happened tonight. I almost got it tonight. You would have got it right along with me if I hadn't been able to drag that carbine from under the dash."
He took the percolator from the hot plate and poured coffee. He had to hold the cup close to his face to keep from spilling too much as he drank. As it was, some of the coffee trickled through the discolored hairs of his chest and stomach. He didn't bother to wipe the drops away. "You've been around a long time, Rudy," I told him. "You won't be as easy to get to as the others were." He banged the cup against the table.
"This guy,"
he said, swallowing hard.
"This guy."
His eyes wandered helplessly as he tried to find the right words to tell me what he was feeling, what had been building inside him as he saw himself earmarked for a quick, bloody death.
"I've been around too long, Pete," he said. "I slowed down. I known too many other guys, quicker and smarter than me, who couldn't find any place to hide once the finger was on them. Oh, he'll get me all right. He'll get me."
His fingers touched the butt of the automatic, lifted convulsively.
"Unless you—"
"How many people in the house knew which road you'd take tonight?" I asked him. His shoulders lifted.
"Well, it was no secret around here that I was going to Orange Bay."
"Who's living here besides Macy?" I thought of Diane, the girl I hadn't been able to see quite well enough. "You got a woman around?"
"Macy? No, he don't care nothing about women anymore. Once in a while I guess he can use one. Like me, I gotta rub up against one all night before I—"
"There's a girl I met on the beach a few minutes ago. She was swimming."
"Diane.
That's her name."
"She takes care of the kid, Amy."
"Who is this Amy?" Rudy scratched fingers through his hair.
Macy's pet, little 9-year-old girl. She's Cuban, I think."
"How'd he come by that?"
"You remember Chili Rosales?"
"Yeah."
One of Chili's cousins was a Spanish town whore. This Amy was her kid. The whore's husband may or may not have been a father. He wasn't home much. One night when he was home, he took a butcher knife and cut up the whore. Amy was watching. Then he went after the kid and chased her down 3 flights of stairs. He got close enough once to take a swipe at her and opened up one of her arms from the elbow down. So there they were, both of them, bloody as Jesus, and the girl screaming and running out into the street. A cop heard the screaming and shot the guy dead. Since the whore was his cousin, Chili took care of the girl for a while, until he creamed himself in his Cadillac in an accident one night."
"Then Macy took her in," I said, grinning crookedly.
"Well," Rudy replied, "he said she needed to have somebody. She was wild as hell when he latched onto her. Diane toned her down. Took a long time."
I'll be damned, I said, shaking my head in astonishment. Yeah. Who else is around then? Well, Diane and Amy. Macy's brother Owen, too. He's supposed to be manager of the hotel, but he don't do nothing but booze and paint those pictures of his. Charlie Rink's here, too, with his wife. It was a new name. He's sort of like you used to be, Rudy explained. Except he ain't big enough or mean enough to handle the contact work. Writes the books mostly. There's something about him I don't like much. He struts, like he was real dangerous, especially around people who don't know no better, but any trouble and he's the first to find some place where it's safe to watch. I don't think even his wife likes him. She's been laid by some of the boys in town, especially Revis. He does most of the heavy work these days, like collecting. I felt the first quieting nudge of sleep and stirred sore muscles in getting up. I think I'll turn in. See you in the morning, Rudy. He went to the door with me. How'd you even happen to go to work for Macy, Pete? He asked suddenly. I considered that for a while. I guess Amy wasn't the first lost kid Macy ever took in, I said, and walked outside. Going up the hill, I thought about the way it had been, coming home from the war with each nerve bare from the endless nights of patrol and attack and retreat, to find Jean, the wild beauty I had married at the end of college, slowly becoming a hopeless paretic. And nothing could stop the pitting of the brain that gradually turned her into a strange creature, with a halting walk and thick speech and weird hallucinations. I lasted long enough to see that she would be taken care of in the best institution I could afford. Then I cracked up. There were no memories for a while, not until Macy found me in some rat hole, half dead from whiskey and grief, and flew me south to a small island in the Caribbean where I had the chance to start living again if I wanted to take it. I remembered the day I stood high on a cliff, a storm blowing toward me from off the choppy sea, the wind high. Macy was yelling in my ear, his coat and tie whipping, hair in his face. He had a bottle in his hand, and as he argued with me, he raised his arm and threw the bottle over the cliff. You want another drink? If that's what you want, go get it. I'm tired of fooling around with you. You got any guts, go get that bottle. And I stood there, shaking, cold, squeezing my face with my hands, wondering why it was so hard for me to take those steps that would end it. I stood there a long time until I wasn't trembling anymore. Then I turned and walked away from the edge of the cliff. I didn't feel good because I was doing it. I didn't feel as though I had won any great victory over myself. I didn't feel anything. Where do you think you're going? Macy had said with a grin. I turned and looked back at him. With you, if you want me. If not, I don't know where. But too many wires had pulled loose for me to hope that I could live normally again before many years. I needed the feeling of danger that the job with Macy offered me, until the healing was complete. Then I left him. End of chapter 6.